Good afternoon, traders. It's Simon at Kairos Capital Markets with the weekly review of Aussie dollar, pound yen, and euro dollar. For the moment, I'm going to take Bitcoin out of our weekly review. It's done most of its moves from the start of this year, and it's just really just dying down quite a lot now at the moment. So anything major does actually happen in the cryptocurrency scene, I will start going back to it. But for the moment, I'm finding it quite boring at the moment just to see it do nothing. And in all fairness, I believe that phase in our trading career at the moment for what Bitcoin was doing for 2017 has now kind of passed away, and you might get this thing like what gold's done now, where gold rallied up in 2008 and 2009, fell back down in 2010 and 11, and then just ranged for like 7 years or so. It hasn't done nothing. So Bitcoin may be having that now just because of the emotional effects of what it's had on people from the start of the year. So we'll take that out for the moment. So anyway, so as you know, I'm still at the moment a dollar bull long term, a dollar bear short term. And what we had of last week was this, the high test the week before, and then we had this bullish engulfing candle last week. So for me personally, I want to know if it's a valid move up or not. Now we can't confirm with volume because this is the dollar index. It doesn't really give us doesn't give us the volume, unfortunately enough. I mean, this isn't good enough. Whatever, it's all the same. So we have to confirm it in other pairs. So we can do it a little bit later on with euro dollar. But for the moment, we'll just go through what we've got here. So on the daily perspective, we've got a level at 12,000 we have, and we can see in the past that has actually provided support and resistance in the recent past, going back to September 2016, so a good year and a half or so. And now what's happening as well is the moves at the bottom were big moves, and then it's got smaller and struggling. Now when we come down to the 4-hour chart, what I did outline for a couple of people was maybe this would be the top here. It hasn't really topped out as such. We can still adjust this slightly more. What I do have though is bearish MACD divergence on the 4-hour chart and the 1-hour chart. To determine where this trade is actually going to break down, it will be a break of this 4-hour 50 EMA here. That is really what we're looking for at the moment. And this move is now putting some bearish pressure into the market here, so I do expect the dollar to start calming down a little bit now, just to have a little pullback where we can actually maybe take 1 or 2 trades, and we can get back on the long dollar side later on throughout June, July onwards. So with that said, let's look at the other charts here. So Aussie dollar to start with. On Aussie dollar last week, it didn't move anywhere at all, done nothing whatsoever. The only thing it has done though is put some half decent volume things in here. There isn't really anything there as such. It's now moving up to the upside now, and if you go down to the 4-hour perspective, you'll actually see that a downward sloping trend line containing price at the moment. So as you can see here, this is what I've got on the 4-hour perspective here. I feel that we would actually, if we can break above this trend line here, then we will have the next move up. And again, if we pop back up here, at least the daily 50 EMA would be my first target, or at this upward sloping trend line. Just to give you a weekly perspective as well, we are at the 75 area, 0.75. It's put in quite a couple of rejections there in the past. So we've got 1 touch there, 2 touch, 3 touch, and there's a 4th weekly touch here. And again, you've got RSI sitting at 0, you've got deceleration reversal candle, so it's a good trade long. It is, just wait for the confirmation, and my confirmation is a break above this downward sloping trend line. That is my confirmation on the 4-hour chart, and you can target around about this 76.6 area. And again, if you just go back to the weekly chart now, so the daily chart, 1 second, and you can see roughly 76.2 is where the daily 50 EMA is. So around the daily 50 EMA coincides with the 4-hour area of taking profits. That's what I'll be looking for. If we do break out of this triangle in the next hours or so, it'd be a trade like this I'll be looking for. Something like this I'd expect. And then you can obviously target here, a little 1.5% trade, nothing special really too much. Bear in mind, it's a high risk trade, you're going against the dollar trend you are. So now when I look at euro dollar, we can actually look on a weekly perspective to see what this volume is like here. This bearish engulfing candle here that I don't believe represents the market. So we're going to look at the for a weekly perspective. We're just going to look at other pairs from different brokers. So we're going to use Oranda for this one for the moment, and notice how the bearish engulfing candle is formed on slightly lower volume than the low test. So again, that says to me that move for the week is a fake move down, and I just want to see if I can confirm it or not. Now obviously on the daily perspective, you've got a key level around this area here of 1.174, 1.175, this kind of area here. And for me, that says to me we should now be looking to have a little move up. 1.2 would be the area I'd be looking to take profit if I was to go long on this, just purely because by the time the daily 50 EMA comes down, 1.2 is a nice round number. It'll also put a mini double top pattern in, then we should fall down again afterwards. When we come down to the lower time frames, I haven't looked at this chart in detail, so let's have a look at what we got here. There we are. This is what I'm looking at so far. I've got this downward sloping trend line linking the two highs together, and also have this downward sloping trend line here that's trying to highlight the where the trend may change. Notice as well we've got a nice little low test there, half decent volume. So I'd expect a trend change to happen on the lower time frame of the 1 hour chart. And what I'll be looking for here, as you can see already, the 1 hour 50 EMA has been expected once and twice here and a little bit there. So if you was to take this trade long, you want the trade to go up to confirm it's got a higher high, come down to test the 1 hour 50 EMA with a higher low, and then you'll be looking to take a trade long from there. And like I said, 1.2 would be your target. Well, probably wouldn't be 1.2, maybe a little bit lower than that. Does coincide with this chart here. So let's say you've got an order in here, for example. Your stops at the below lows there, and oh, sorry for dragging that one, guys. And there you go. My mouse is just not going to behave very well today for some reason. Don't know why. That's a 2.6% trade. It's quite nice potential there, and again that coincides where the daily 50 EMA would come down to. So again, we got to wait for these trades to come up. Don't just willy-nilly take them now, because at the moment, although I'm a dollar bear at the moment, I have been wrong. I was taking a trade here and got stopped out in this one earlier at the moment. So just wait for the confirmation come up. Bigger the pattern, the more longer and more stronger it will be to go in your favour. So the fact we've got some nice falling wedges happening on the dollar pairs does tell me that we should now move up a little bit later on. Pound yen now. So pound yen itself is now at the day 50 EMA, but in the middle of this range. And for me personally, I have mixed feelings about this at the moment. And for myself, I wouldn't really want to take too much up or down here, because I can draw a line in there at that, and you can say it's got 3 touches that go up. I can then say it's got a head and shoulder pattern, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and it's going to come down. You then say it's got a Fibonacci pullback in the daily 50 EMA. You are in the world of both here, you are, and this is why I don't like trading like this. So on the weekly perspective, definitely see a move up to the upside, but we've got some negative confidence factors on the daily, which I don't like, and the pound is fairly weak, but again I do expect it to move up over the short term, just because it's fallen for so far and so long. So with that said, let's look down and see what we can confirm if we can take a short trade, for example here. I'm not suggesting we do, but I just want to give you some idea about how he breaks and trades down. So we're now on let's get to the 4 hour chart, and already what I see is this upward sloping trend line here linking all the extreme lows together is quite a strong trend line by the looks of it. You got 1.49 as well being in the mix of it as well, and the fact we broke above it and tested the 4 hour 50 EMA is more likely it would go up. But at the same time though, you are going against the daily 50 EMA here. I know it's in the range, but at the same time it trended up here quite nicely, and now on the other side of it, and you could turn around and say, oh, I think it's bearish, and you've got this situation here where the pullback's already happened. And this is the problem I have with trades like this. I don't like it, because you got a head and shoulder pattern here, you got a weekly bullish signal. So for me personally, I'm staying out of this trade or pair whatsoever. I'm not interested in it, and I would wait for a higher probability trade to happen, whether that be a sell off 152 or a break and retest to come down and come back up to test 147.5 to then go short. So you've either got a trade here to take the trade up this area here, or the price comes down down, and you would take a short up to you take a short off of this area here like that you would. But again though, we're only preempting what's going to happen. Like I said, I don't like it. I'm not a massive fan of this pair at the moment. It's not very clean, so I would just sit on my hands with this one and leave it alone. Okay guys, any problems, give us a shout and I'll speak to you soon.